So, hello everyone, and thank you for being here. Today we are all gathering here because it's a very special moment here at XRCC. I just want to say, first of all, thank you to our panelists here for joining us. I'm going to introduce them in a second, but also thank you to all of our participants here at XRCC. So far, it's been really great, and I'm sure the next days are going to be amazing. But yeah, let's get into it. So first of all, we have here all of our participants at XRCC, but we also have people joining us online. Hope you participate also with us. There's going to be a kind of interactive session with all of us here. I'm Jad at Immersive Insiders, and today we're joined by 4 XR Titans who have been in the industry for a while. And they have taken many different paths, but they're all with us here to share some insights with us. So first of all, we have Dilmer, the developer advocate at Meta, XR engineer, founder of LearnXR, creator of 970 plus videos on YouTube, which have helped many, including a lot of GitHub projects that he's shared, which are really useful. Also, yes, award winner for AWE. And he just passed 100K subs on YouTube. Let's go! We also have Quentin. Also, many know him as Valem on YouTube. He's the founder and CEO of Valem Studio, VR game dev and educator. He's the GOAT of YouTube dev tutorials. And he also recently released Detective VR, which is on Quest Store, and it's on sale, so get it now. Get it now! We have Roberto, software engineer at Meta Reality Labs and founder of Black Whale Studio, which is now known as XR DevRub on YouTube. Amazing tutorials, I'm sure you've all seen it. He has also working on MR motifs and Quest Camera Kit, really useful tools that are now also really important because of all of the AI rage and all of that. Really cool. And he's created great tools that push XR, AI, and camera API overlaps. So yeah, thank you, Robbie. Finally, we have Dinesh Punni, XR educator, founder of Immersive Insiders, where I work, and XR nerd turned businessman, bringing XR to many industries and creating amazing events like XRCC here, which we're all attending. So thank you, Dinesh. And without further ado, we're gonna jump right into it. And actually, we're gonna start with a Slido interaction. If you haven't seen, there's a QR code that you can join. Please make sure to join it right now. We're gonna see basically the first thing that we're gonna see is how are you feeling today? Yeah, which emoji best represents your feeling at XRCC? So please join through the codes right here, and you're gonna be able to share your experiences with us live. So we're gonna see all your reactions. Cool. We're gonna see them dropping in a few moments. But yeah, let's get started. So first of all, I would like each of you to maybe talk a bit about what you do or what you're currently interested in and all of that. So yeah, maybe we start with Dilmer.
Absolutely. How's everybody doing? Woo! XRCC, and we're here. All right, guys, so yeah, I'm Dilmer Valecillos. I've been a developer for XR for a long time. I think I started with all of these guys, and I admire every single one in here. Robbie, he started a little bit later, but I have a lot of admiration for his work. So right now, I'm a developer advocate for Meta, so my job is to work with many of you. If you're working on a title and you want to bring it in, and you have questions about SDKs, I am here to support you. If there's things that you're not feeling good about the platform that you want help with, or you want programs, I am the voice, and then Jake as well is in here, and then Deepak that work in my team. They're over there, they're great, so talk to them, they're really amazing. And also find them on social media. And yeah, I mean, it's been a journey. Like when I started, I was making videos in YouTube, and I remember, looking at the videos that actually Dinesh made, and our videos were getting 10 views. Like there was not really a lot of interest about XR, but we knew that this was gonna be something big one day, and we knew when we were doing hand tracking with HoloLens, like it was amazing. I mean, the field of view was a little more narrow, But just seeing that as a, as a younger person at that time, like I could see how it was going to change, in the future. And now looking at the devices that are releasing right now, it's really inspiring to see where the industry has been from that time to now. And then now our videos are getting more attention. And I say not just because of video, but I say this because like if you're working right now on a title and you're like in the early stages, and you want to get that title to the next phase, and you're like, wow, but there's so much going on. One thing that I want to take away is like, try to build in public, try to share as much as you can. That was something that I did initially, and I think that's something that a lot of people have like benefit from. So try to always share, like not only think about you, but also share as much as you can. But anyways, my name is Dilmer, excited to be here. I'm gonna pass it, otherwise this will be too long.
There will be questions coming up that will ask you specifically about a lot of things, so you can share more about this experience.
Awesome. So yeah, my name is Dinesh, founder and CEO of Immersive Insiders. And it's just crazy to see how far our journey has come now. Like we started, most of us in XR 5 to 10 years ago, founded this company back in 2018, working full-time as a VR, AR, XR, whatever, all developers. For the past couple of years then, 3 more years working part to this as well. And now we're here organizing these amazing events, having really cool partnerships with so many amazing people, and just bringing the best talents all together and all of these amazing creators here. So really excited about this session, and let me get over to you here.
Yeah, thanks. I'm Robbie. I got started like 6 years ago, so probably the newest joiner here on this panel. I got started in university, then I checked out YouTube, and I found these amazing guys here. Dinesh was really helpful for mobile AR, and then, of course, Valem and Dilmer for Unity's XR Interaction Toolkit, which was really hot at that time. This is how I got started. And I started making newer videos about Meta's XR Interaction Toolkit, which got me working with the teams at Meta directly. And it's really exciting right now. I can work on the SDKs and APIs directly. I can shape our documentation directly, and I'm also happy that I have the freedom to come here and talk to you guys, see how you use the tools that I can create, and yeah, give it to Valem.
Yeah. Thank you. Hello, everyone. So my name is Quentin, but you may know me from my YouTube channel, Valem Tutorials, where I publish content about how you can build your own VR application or game, VR or XR. I'm also the CEO of Valem Studio. We are a small VR development studio, and we released our first game 3 months ago. The game is Detective VR, so reach out to me if you want to try it. And yeah, that's basically sums up. I'm also a teacher on a master degree in Belgium, where I live, of game development. And that's it now. Let's start answering questions, I guess.
Give it up for our panelists. So, back to Slido for a bit. We see all the reactions here. Amazing stuff. We see also some nice words that people have put there, not only emojis, which is really cool. And also about Slido, just to let you know, you can share your questions, which we will answer at the end of this session. So please share any questions that you have. There will be a dedicated Q&A session. You can ask your questions. We'll take the most upvoted ones, and we'll share them with the panel so they can give their thoughts on it. But before we continue, we will also do another question for the Slido. So we'll do another interaction here on Slido, which is, where are you on your XR journey? Let us know. So we want to see how many of you here are where, basically how much experience you have. We will see, a lot of you are building for real. A lot of experts here. Nice, we see it live, updating, just exploring, tinkering, learning. Nice, a lot of votes, cool. So it seems like a lot of you are building for real. That's cool. So a lot of you are really involved, making cool stuff, nice. And also a lot of you are still starting up, which is a really nice thing to see. A lot of people here and also online are still getting started with XR. That's a good thing because it's always exciting, it's always developing, and even though a lot of people keep saying, yeah, XR is dying, XR whatever, whatever, we keep seeing that many people are interested in it. And yeah, so let's get back to the panel now. Our first question for the panel is gonna be about what was your moment of I'm now going into XR? So I want to learn about that. Like, what really got you into the moment? We can start maybe with Quentin over there.
Okay, thanks. What made me go into XR?
Yes.
Is that the question? So after I graduated from the university, I was looking for a job. I did a master degrees in mathematics, and I didn't want it to be in numbers all day long. So I tried to find a cool job, and lucky for me, there was this thing that I didn't knew about, which was the VR developer looking for. There was like a job opening for me, and during my job interview, actually the person put me under a VR headset, and there was like this very first VR application at the time. Maybe some of you remember it. It was like a dinosaur which was getting close to you and opening its mouth. And at the moment that the dinosaur opened its mouth, my future boss took like a little shit of water and did this in front of me. And from that moment, I've been hooked because, yeah, I got the job, by the way, so that's also good news. But this was the coolest job interview also in the world. And from that point on, I got hooked to this technology. I tried to learn everything that I could and tried to share this knowledge ever since.
Yeah, for me, as I mentioned, it was in university maybe 6 years ago. This was a research project from a professor, and I took it as my bachelor thesis. And it was just fun, and it felt kind of magic what you can do, and also what you've seen from other brands. I mean, HTC was big at that time, Unreal, now Xreal, and all these companies. And it felt like I was early for something that has a lot of potential. If you imagined at that time, okay, the hardware is going to get better, the software is going to get better. I mean, no one expects it to take that long, of course, but we say every 5 years it's going to take 5 years. But it just felt like there is a lot of potential, and I can be some of the few guys who can be early in this and build something cool. So yeah, that was the main reason.
Cool. So my story started, I think, 11 years ago. It was 2014 at Gamescom, actually. And there was a booth where it was not even the official Oculus booth or any of that. It was like a random booth, but they had a DK1 back then, the developer got one. And I just begged them so I could try it. They were already closing. I was like, hey, please, I have to try it. So they put me on the headset, and yeah, it was like just really, really mind-blowing. I was like completely blown away. It was probably also maybe many of you know this, the virtual roller coaster back then. So you had this like shitty experience with the bad headset, but it was still like good enough that you kind of could see the vision. And I was actually so immersed in this thing that I was like looking back and up and down, and like was watching down, was almost screaming. So I went back and tried to grab the card back then, and I was like hitting against the wall and hurt my hand actually. So that was like how much I was immersed in this field. And after that I was like, okay, let's just go all in on VR and AR. And yeah, now we're here. I also, same vision as many of these guys here. I wanted to be one of the first really pushing this also. So I started making some YouTube videos, and that's how we ended up here.
Awesome.
Hey, thank you for sharing that. Yeah, my story was I was making mobile games at the time, experimenting with Xcode, iOS. I originally wanted to make a lot of money. I wanted to be one of the people that sold games in the early days of iPhone. And unfortunately, I didn't do it, but I learned a lot. And in the time that I was developing games, they were pretty minimalistic, and it was like platformer games that I was making for 2D with Unity. And it was actually through a hackathon, a work hackathon, where I started playing with Unity. Somebody said, Dilmer, do you want to try Unity? And I'm like, what is that thing? I had some web development experience. So I started doing it every night, and I spent more time on it. Then I watched a movie called Indie Game that was on Netflix, and that movie really got me into, wow, you can make a game in like 2 years with one person and then sell it, and then that's the dream. It took me 3 years to make a game, and I actually didn't make much money. But, but at the time, ARKit was releasing. So when ARKit, Apple released ARKit, I'm like, I'm gonna try to grab one of my games. It was a puzzle game and add ARKit functionality. So when I was able to just grab my phone and see, and basically place a platform, a location right in front of me and be able to walk around and see it in augmented reality, that to me was like, it clicked. It's like, this is the future. And then after that, I started talking about it in social media. Magic Leap liked what I was posting, so then they sent me a device, and when I tried the Magic Leap, I'm like, okay, this is what I'm gonna do for the rest of my life.
Amazing. As you can see, guys, everyone here, like, it's all very relatable where they started. It doesn't, we always think of, hey, these people out there, they're there because they've been doing it for so long, and they started with this, and they've been doing it for a while. But no, like, actually, everyone here has started from different places, and a lot of these stories, I'm sure, are very relatable to the situations that you are in right now. So it doesn't take too long, and actually, just having the passion for it, as we see here, can take you very far. So thank you very much for sharing a bit about this. So I just wanted to ask a couple more things specific to each one of you. We'll start with Dinesh. Dinesh, there is, I've heard of like this one project that you started early on that's not really necessarily VR or XR, but it taught you a lot. Can we hear more about this?
Which project do you mean?
The one you showed me where you have a jumping...
Oh, okay.
Tell us more about this one.
Okay, now I know where we're going. Yeah, this is a really cool thing because I think this is also a good question, very relatable to this situation right now. This was actually a hackathon project back in, I don't know, 2012 or something like this, 2012, 2013, where I built this game which is called Super Wall Jump, really cool. It was like a 2D platformer. You had this guy jumping around, and I had a lot of fun building this, and this was like a university hackathon. But the problem was, oh, not the problem, I'm pretty competitive, so I wanted to win, of course. And I didn't win. I was like, sucks. I didn't even got like mentioned in the honorable mentions or nothing. But I thought this game is really cool, so I just keep building on this. And half a year later, so that was also the first game that I ported to mobile, to iOS and Android. And then actually Microsoft reached out to me and was like, hey, we saw this game, you're actually pretty interested, do you want to participate in our, I don't know, global hackathon competition, something like this. And that also really motivated me because it allowed me to keep working on the project after the hackathon, to be able to present it on the Microsoft stage, to compete again. And long story short, I actually won the German national-wide games competition, which was amazing. And for me, this was one of the biggest openers in my career. I think one way because I could just talk about people being like, hey, I won this Microsoft competition, but it also gave me a lot of confidence, and it showed me, hey, I have this cool idea, I just keep pursuing this, and there's a lot of hackathon projects. I mean, one had a massage session here right now, that just keep working on their project, and I think that is something very inspiring. If you have built something that you think is amazing, just push forward, and it's pretty likely that you will get rewarded, especially if, as Dilmer said, you post about it, you build it in public, and yeah, that is like my TLDR story of the Super Wall Jump experience.
This is really important, or it really opened up my eyes when you talked about it, because this is what we see here. I mean, participating in hackathons, it's a great opportunity, not only to win, but also just to learn, right? And as you said, even if you didn't win the first time, you don't know what's going to happen later. And you always tell me this, Dinesh, but like building yourself is almost like building or growing a bamboo shoot, right? Mm-hmm. You invest so much time into it for so long, right? And you have it, bamboo, how it works, it's in the ground for so long, and at some point it just shoots, and it shoots super high. And this is kind of the motto that we have, and everyone here, you know, like even if things don't work out at the beginning, they will work out at some point if you keep trying, and so on. So yeah, really interesting story that I wanted you to share with the world. But Dilmer, tell us about, is there any point that there was a bug or an issue or like something that really tested you where you thought maybe you're going to quit, but you pushed through?
Oh, man.
Was there some kind of moment like that?
Way too many times. I think that happened throughout my career. Like when I got a job, I wasn't doing things in like fancy, like in Meta. I was working. Actually, I graduated from Weber State University, a local university in Salt Lake City. And right out of school, I went, got a job, and I was a junior engineer. And there were a lot of things that I didn't know. Like I remember, like the first day at the job, I didn't have like the people didn't have trust in me because I was so new. So gaining that trust took a long time. So at the beginning, there was a lot of anxiety that I had, like with the projects, try to deliver, try to make a better job, try to do. So yeah, I introduced way too many bugs. I don't remember one in particular, but I did have one application that was written in ASP.NET. That's actually how I got into C# at the beginning. And it was this huge repository, and I was a new guy. And we didn't have AI back then, so I sound like I'm old. Because now that's like given, like everybody uses AI. So back then you had to go to Stack Overflow, you had to ask people that were actually physical next to you. So I would sit with a group of developers, we would IDA, we would do code reviews, and I think that experience taught me a lot. But we had this issue that it was assigned to me to create a report, and this report needed to be localized because it was a company that was in multiple countries. And I remember the day the QA got it, I deployed it, I learned Git, I learned continuous integration and going through the entire life cycle. So that's actually a good thing to learn, like go through the process, work with the team, even if you're in hacks, like that process is something that nobody can ever take away from you. But to your question, the project that I work on introduced a pretty bad bug. So when it went to production and I deployed it, who is the new guy? Dilmer is the new guy. Everybody was staring at me. I remember I was actually so red and so stressed because I was on a phone call with the CEO and then multiple people and vendors, and I'm like, shit, I screwed up. But what I said to myself, well, I've been able to overcome so many things in my life. Like I was able to graduate, and I didn't think I was able to do that. I came from South America and learned English, and I didn't think I was good. So it's like your mind changes, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna fix this bug. So I just sat down with another developer, we looked at the code, we reviewed it, we found the issue, we deployed it, and I was like, wow, this is cool. So I have many bugs after that, but that's one of the stories.
Thank you for sharing. We're going to move to Roberto, and we're going to ask you, I'm wondering about how your audience initial reaction to kind of the videos that you started creating, how did that affect your vision or your direction in general when it comes to XR?
Not my vision towards XR, just a sign that I should keep going, keep making these videos. I initially made them to learn the Meta XR SDK myself. And I thought okay, there are these amazing guys who make the videos. I can also make great videos. And while I'm learning, might as well teach it to others. And then people loved it so much. I think I put a lot of effort into making it very technically true. I wanted to mention every details, and it was a lot of work. But I quit my job and was freelancing and putting all my work just in videos. So it gave me a sign that it's the right thing, and I learned a lot doing it. I talked to the guys and said if you teach, it's the best way to learn. You're putting yourself out there, and also it's very public, so you don't want to screw up. You have to really know what you're talking about. And it didn't change my view, but well, maybe it gave me a sign that okay, there's a lot of people who have a need for that, and I should keep going.
They definitely do need that, and thank you so much for all of you here who have created amazing content when it comes to XR and covering all of that. We're going to pass on to Quentin, and I'm wondering if there's any point that you kind of pivoted in your direction when it comes to XR or when it comes to video creation in general.
That's interesting, but yes, because so I have two YouTube channels, So I have Valem VR and I have Valem tutorials.
Yes.
And at what point, at the very beginning, I was putting tutorials, but I was also interested to motivate people outside of the developer community to come and try to be curious about this technology, or or even learn about how developers are managing. And I think that a lot of people that are not developers are also curious to know a bit more about how their favorite VR game are made. So that's why I've decided to create 2 YouTube channels. One channel focusing more about vulgarization, and the other more about technicality on how you can build your own stuff. And so that was one point it was one pivot point in my YouTube career. But also after that, another decision that I made, which was very important, was to create my own VR game development studio. So this was like a big milestone, but I quickly realized that I didn't like working alone. It's weird because we are talking to a lot of people, sharing video, to getting comment, but sometimes when you are on your own, and it was also during COVID, so I decided to actually talk to people. I actually try to I hire a video editor also, which helped me. And now from that point on, we were not 1 people but 2, and it changed basically everything because it changed my motivation, changed my point of view. We could talk about ideas together, and now we are 3 on the studio, and we are aiming to grow and keep working on more projects, more video. But I feel like this is like the second big point of this XR career, is to not do the things alone, but do it with other people. And I guess that's why everybody is also here on an hackathon, because one good thing that we are doing here is working with other people. That's something that we normally don't usually do, but it's also so much fun to be there with other people, share ideas, and try also to learn from the other person in your team. So yeah.
Absolutely. And something I noticed also is that a lot of you started YouTube. It's hard to manage YouTube. You all know this. But it doesn't need to be hard from the beginning, right? You start somewhere and it evolves. And as it evolves, more and more things get included into it, and you plan to grow. And that's when some more complexity comes in. But it's interesting to have people and to encourage more people to kind of start creating more content around XR and to teach other people the skills that they know, just like you guys did. So we're going to move to our next section of this panel, and we're going to start with another Slido interaction. This time it's going to be about what type of VR video do you prefer watching? And we have here quick tip videos, topic deep dives, live demos, and tutorial series. These are some quite common types of VR content, or XR content in general. So let's see, what do you guys like? Oh, topic deep dive is in the lead. Tutorial series is in the lead. Live demos seem to be failing quite miserably. Quick tip. All right. Oh, it's actually, okay, it's balancing out now. But topic deep dive seems to be in the lead, and then tutorial series. Quick tips, I was expecting quick tips to be a bit higher up in the list, just because of today's format with like short content and all of that. But it seems to be quite balanced, don't you think? What do you guys think about this?
I think it's interesting. Yeah, like you mentioned, quick tip are not that high here on the chart, which I expected also, but I'm happy that tutorial series are there because I really like to make this kind of content, and it feels like just making one video is not sometimes enough to cover a full subject. So yeah, I'm really happy. Thanks for the people voting for tutorial series. But I can pass this mic also. Yeah.
Yeah, tutorial series makes sense. I mean, the beginner series is always super interesting for people. I like that topic deep dive is up there because that's what I like to do. I just quick one API or one new feature and make a deep dive there. Yeah, that's my kind of thing.
Yeah, I think the tutorial series is kind of like all of our Forest cheat code. Like every year is like how to get started in Unity. These videos get like 100K views. So that is pretty helpful, absolutely. And also interesting to see that quick tip is so low actually. I mean, live demos makes total sense because who the hell wants to watch like 3 hours of somebody coding and messing up all the time? So you guys, when you see the YouTube videos, you only see these super perfect polished stuff. We all just make mistakes all the time. we just cut out 90%, so that is why you get the end result like super smooth, but probably behind the scenes like, oh shit, what is this here? That's why, of course, live demos is kind of lower, but yeah, tutorial series makes sense, of course, and good to see that the distribution matches with, I think, what also most of us kind of create as well.
Yeah, this makes sense to me as well. I think on my videos specifically, I try to incorporate a little bit of everything, which is sometimes is very overwhelming.
Yep.
But I do like to show live demos or like demos at the beginning, like get people inspired, and then do a topic deep dive. But yeah, I can see tutorial series being a lot easier to digest as a developer, where you don't have to like know all of these to be able to apply a specific feature that you might be looking for. So yeah, thank you for providing that insight. We'll put it in action.
Dilmer actually had a question about this deep dive, and because a lot of your videos are kind of in between deep dive, in between live demos and tutorial series. It mixes a lot, and I was wondering, like, what do you think is the sweet spot between like the deep dive and the quick tip? Like, how do you balance it out in your videos?
Yeah, I try to, I mean, I listen to what the people say in the comments. Like, I want to know what's working, what's not working. But the more that I do it, I mean, I've been doing this for 7 years, so I try to do it in a way that if I was sitting on the other side and I want to know like what he's teaching, then so I want to show you that like why would you pick an SDK? Why would you pick this technology? For instance, I did a video on a spatial SDK, and it was all new to me. It's not Unity, right? Like, well, I want to talk about Unity as it relates to a spatial SDK, and then as I'm walking people through the project, I want to add references of Unity so that they kind of feel more welcome. So yeah, in my videos, I try a little bit of all of them. I know I've seen Valem tutorials. He does tutorial series. He does pretty well. So there's things that I'm still learning as well. But it's more about like what I think the other person needs at that time, and that's pretty much how I approach the content.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that insight, and also like I want to add that on this voting here, the tutorial series, it's the highest one, but for me personally, like when we see the statistics of actual tutorial series, the first video does great, and then it goes down and down, and I'm sure you all relate with this. So I was a bit surprised that it was at the top because of that. Individual videos do a lot more when they work well. Yeah, it's interesting. I also wanted to ask, Quentin about, or Valem on YouTube, about how you balance like because you have elements of storytelling in your videos. It's a bit more like, let's try to do this in this amount of time, and this kind of like more engaging, more how to say, collaborative kind of video ideas. So what's made you want to do it in this kind of way, and how do you think it's working?
Yeah, I just learned about how you can use storytelling is like a trick that you can do to hook the people's brain into your content and to make them learn so much faster. And that's something that actually I learned from teachers that I loved during my years studying. I felt like the best teacher was the one creating like a story outside of. So, for example, if I told you how a triangle can be computed with its area and stuff like this, it's not interesting. But once you put a story there, like an example or something real, it just takes so much more sense. So I can give another example with, for example, the first episode of my tutorial series on how to make a VR game. It's about doing a VR setup. It's so boring because you are going to the edit settings, adding OpenXR, meta over there, then you are enabling this and that. But if I start the video by saying, okay, in 10 minutes, I'm going to show you how to make this very simple bowling VR game. And it changed the narratives completely. So you are shifting from settings tutorials to like a real project. And this kind of storytelling are so good, not just in tutorials, but when you speak, when you create content, when you are creating games also. I'm talking here also on presentation for the people who will pitch their application later on the hackathon. If you add some storytelling to your presentation, it's also very interesting. You can, that's a hack that you can use in a lot of things. Not everything, but in a lot of things.
Very, very good point. And this is something that a lot of the participants here will also explore tomorrow, actually, in the packaging workshop.
Ooh, nice.
Because we're going to teach them all about creating amazing trailers. And of course, a big part of creating amazing trailers is the storytelling. And the better the storytelling, the better the engagement of the people watching and the people who are trying to get into something that is maybe a bit foreign to them. Also, a big part of creating amazing content is the passion that comes behind it. And moving to Robbie, the passion that comes into the videos, we can really tell from your kind of videos that you create videos about the topics that you are passionate about and that you want to explore and learn more about. So tell us more about what really, how does that shape the kind of videos that you do, and what's the thought process behind these kind of things?
I mean, at the beginning, it's an assumption. For me, it's I don't want to spend too long on a video. I just want to get straight to the point. And I don't want to expect from anyone else that they spend a lot of time watching my stuff. I don't want to, Quentin, but I don't want to hook them. They should just be here because they want to know something about this exact feature that they're looking for. So this is a little bit a different approach, but it worked really well. Almost from the very beginning, the videos went really well, and that gave me the sign that there's more people like me who just want to know something and get back to building. And at the very beginning, I went back to my own videos so many times because we didn't have the project setup tool, and I had to memorize all of this. And I went back to my own videos, and I knew I just wanted to make them as detailed as possible, but also keep them within 10, 12 minutes. Right. And if it doesn't fit in there, I even sped up my video a little bit to make it even shorter, even more compact. I tried everything to make it as concise as possible, and that's also the most frequent comments that I got is this is great, this is straight to the point, thank you for not wasting time. And
definitely.
And that's...
Actually, here in the panel, we have different kinds of videos in general, very different varieties, and all of them are appreciated differently by the community. I'm wondering about, is there any specific tools or technologies right now that you think people should more look into?
For creating XR apps?
Yes, exactly. What is something exciting that you're excited about right now?
The pass-through camera API, please, please check it out. There's a lot, and the focus always shifts. Last year it was mixed reality, now it's AI, and of course pass-through camera API is the closest to that, and you can do a ton of stuff with it, and I'm really curious to see what people are coming up with. It seems to be going well right now. People use it and it works. There's a ton of stuff. I talked in the beginning, there was Unity's XR interaction toolkit at the beginning. Now it's Meta's XR's SDK. I hope it stays that way. But just try to explore new things. And use the PCA to learn about AI and machine learning.
It's, as you said, the topics are always evolving within XR, and it might seem a bit daunting for someone to keep up with it. It's always evolving at a very rapid pace. I mean, even here, the participant can tell that there are so many tools, there are so many ways you can go, and the tools are always evolving. Every single month there's an update, or every single week there's an update, and you need to keep up with it. It's kind of hard, but it is still possible when you have passion. I want to ask Dinesh, with all of this kind of evolving formats of XR, how do you manage the content creation around it? How does the evolving part play into it? Does it make it harder, easier? How do you think about it?
Yeah, that's actually a good question, and I think it's something that fuels all of us, because we never run out of content, because every 2 weeks something is new, something needs to be done. So that's actually, like initially I was like, oh man, I just finished this video and 2 weeks later they updated the entire thing like one time. It's crazy.
struggle.
I had my very first course, I built it for like 1 year or something like this. We had like freaking 100 videos. That was like Steam VR 1.0 or something like this. I finished the whole thing, spent like 2,000 hours in editing and everything. Publish it, of course nobody buys it. So 2 weeks later, the whole thing is deprecated because SteamVR is like, hey, SteamVR 1 is completely outdated. Let's go to SteamVR 2. And I'm like, damn it, that sucks. But I mean, now it's kind of interesting also because it helps us to just have new, fresh content all the time. And that is one thing. Like, it also speeds up our, at least I think for us, the learning process because there's like so many similar things from so many companies also. It's like almost always the same. Like if you have VR from Unity's Interaction SDK or Meta or this one, it's very similar, so it helps us to just like be much, much faster in developing these tools and integrating the new stuff. So it can be frustrating and overwhelming, but I think if we take the other angle also, at least from a content side it's really good, but also from a consumer side, because many of them are giving you the opportunity, which side do you want to take? And then you always have a content creator who's teaching one of those, and then you can just like pick and choose which one you like, really.
Yeah,
I have an answer to that as well. Just going back to pass-through camera API, maybe don't learn too much about the specific feature or SDK. Go with the basics. I mean, with PCA now, it's computer vision, machine learning. And whenever you have access to certain sensors, you can do so many things. You can do your completely own features. I mean, we released the depth API, and there were people doing the instant placement themselves, even half a year before we published even that feature ourselves. And then now with the pass-through camera API, they can do light estimation, they can do object tracking, they can do QR code tracking, and they don't have to wait for a company to come up with their own SDK or APIs to do that, and then deprecate that again. They can just do their own. So learn about those things, and yeah.
It's amazing what the community can do. Like not only learning, not only using the tools that are given to them, but also creating their own tools and hacking through it. And I mean, this kind of creativity, we also see it here at events like XRCC with hackathons, where people are tested with their time and their creative power. Before we're slowly closing in on this session, but I want to hear about your advice when it comes to someone who is just starting. What can they do to get started right now with XR? What's one like advice that you can give them?
I will give you the advice of, it's just like if you're playing Lego, right? Like you play Lego and you're trying to build this big structure, but you have to do one step at a time to build up to that. So I would recommend you to test multiple different SDKs, multiple tools. Don't just go with the one that your manager is imposing on you. Just do as much R&D. Like treat it as I know we have all limited time, but this career is hard. So when I started, I was working not only for companies, but I was going home and I was still working because it was a passion of mine. So I think like trying to identify like what things you want to test. So maybe select a variety of different like tools that you think could be good. Come up with a very small idea, a minimal viable product. It could be something that could take you a week, could take you 2 weeks, but make sure that you're accountable to yourself. And you're gonna say, by the end of the 2 weeks, I'm going to release, could be, I don't know, a character controller for a 2D game, and you want to work on the jumping animation with different states, and then do that in AR, and then try to bring it into VR. But try to be accountable and release it in that time frame. Then you evaluate, okay, what worked, what didn't work, and try with a different SDK. And then you can kind of start seeing like the advantages of using one toolkit, between one here, another one here. So there's not really a perfect answer. I just think it's like, then that has to become your passion. It will become your passion if you like, put the time into it. Then you'll go at night, work on it hard, and then you'll start thinking about all these ideas, and then, maybe if I, integrate these other piece of the SDK, then things will be easier. Or maybe I watch Valem, he taught me this specific trick and this specific code, and I integrate it into my game. So it's like that discovery phase, but just make sure that it doesn't go beyond the time that you allocated, because it's really easy for a project to, and I've done this, have like hundreds of GitHub repos or unfinished projects that you never actually use, or you never actually, they still teach you, but make sure that you finish something in the amount of time. So that's my feedback.
Thank you.
All right, yeah. Quick angle that I would like to take also is, because something that is not being talked about so often is next to focusing on the hard skills, also like have a big focus on the soft skills. Because this is like really underestimated and really like under talked or something like this. It is like going to events like hackathons, of course, but also going to other conferences, meeting other people. It makes so much. Like your network is so important. So these things are having a very big impact on my career. I got all of my jobs just by talking to people, to be honest. And at the same time, showcasing my projects. So I had back then when I had Super Wall Jump, I just had it on my phone. I went to some events, I showed it to some people. To some random people on the line, and they were like, hey, do you look for a job? And I'm like, yeah, sure, why not? And I seriously just got like a job 2 days later. So there is like one thing that helps a lot if you combine going to events, going out, talking to people, building your portfolio, building these projects, like Dilmer said also. And the last kind of like big impact, and I think I can speak for all of us because this is just massive, is really the whole content game, like the personal brand stuff. It's crazy. It's a freaking cheat code. I don't know how many doors is open for all of for the four of us, but like if you figure out a way that you are posting something online, the cool thing is it doesn't have to be YouTube. Like if you like audio, you can go to podcasts, you can do blogs, you can do any format, you can go to short form, long form, whatever you want to do. This is like really something that makes you like significantly stand out. And with the tools available now, I think that is definitely something where you can really stand out and have a big push. And then of course, don't forget about the learning the tools, hard skills, all of that stuff. But that's, I think, one take that I would like to push as well.
Yeah, exactly the same. I don't have to waste too much time. What Dilmer said, you kind of... no, I mean, it's exactly that. What Dilmer said, you have to have a passion for it to push through after your 9-to-5 work, and even if you run into bugs, but also exactly what Dinesh said, put your stuff out there, put yourself out there, just talk to people. It's easier than ever to reach out to people. I remember myself, I was so scared to reach out. Does anyone remember Matthew Holberg?
Yes.
Or like Matt who is building stuff with VPS in Japan. And I was reaching out to these guys and I was super scared, but just reach out, talk to them, ask them how they did it. Make a portfolio, very importantly, but make it concise. Don't just flood it with every single thing you ever done. Just put your favorite 2 to 3 pieces up there and update it continuously. And yeah, that's basically it.
So what's my thought on what my advice for somebody new on XR development? I think that all of these tips are amazing. But specifically to me, I think that the truth is that there is a lot of layers in XR development. You have mixed reality, AI now, you have player interaction, UX, UI, design, and lots of things to learn, which can be overwhelming when you are getting started, because there is, like, it feels like a big mountain and you are at the very bottom and it feels almost impossible. But to me, you need to find a reason to stay motivated, even if motivation is key to stay to keep on learning. How can you stay motivated? That's the real question, I think. And to me, I always thought that there was 2 things that could make me motivated. Either teach somebody else on what I learned. That's a motivation and a fun way also to learn. And the second thing is making your own project. If you are project oriented, it cuts through all of the stuff that you don't want to. It cuts through all the information that are maybe invasive, that you don't need, and you will be focused on your final goal. So if I want to make a multiplayer game, I know that I want to focus on multiplayer and be on that aspect, and I don't need all of that thing. So I guess if you are focusing on the result and on your projects, and you are focusing on sharing that knowledge, these are things that can make you motivated, or at least it worked for me. So yes, that's maybe my advice and something that I feel like this community is already embracing. It's making stuff and to focus on what we have and how we can get to the result that we have in mind. So yeah.
Thank you. And of course, all of the amazing advice from all of you, from creating and teaching to putting constrictions on yourself, time limits and all of that, to create something in a short time, to creating portfolio pieces, connecting with people and showcasing your projects at events and participating in hackathons. These are all things that are really important for everyone to do, especially if you're getting started. It could get you far really fast. So thank you again for this amazing advice. We're gonna end by showing the Q&A. Let's see what kind of questions the community has for you guys, and maybe you can share a few thoughts about that. Let's see. All right, so it's ordered in the most upvoted ones. So we'll start with the top one. Let's see, I'm gonna move a bit forward so that I can read this. We've seen a slowdown in XR jobs and projects in the last years. What do you think is missing right now? What needs to happen to bring XR into mainstream, like we've been saying?
Yeah, I can take. Oh, yeah. It's hard to not say too much without saying too much. But I can tell you that, working at Meta and knowing how many features are getting released and how much stuff where developers are building, it brings a sense of optimism because, we can see, and I'm gonna go back to the spatial SDK idea of you have multiple windows and multitasking, and we all know that that's something that developers we want to do. We want to work, at least I want to work someday with light glasses and then being able to not have to carry a big pack with me. So just knowing those signs, those seeds, the different companies are planting, even at the SDK level, that kind of gives you a guidance. Those things are there for a reason. So I think XR jobs, there's a lot of things that are happening, and even now, we just heard from a friend who was working on a company and they kind of caught, but to put that into a good thing though, making a lot of the people here gave really feedback on making connections. Dinesh did that. The being in XR, it's amazing because we're such a small community. So if somebody loses a job today, you have an entire community that can actually help you get a job tomorrow. So that's the thing that I quit my full-time job and I was I have 2 kids, so I was super, super stressed, and I'm oh shit, what am I gonna do? But I didn't want to tell anybody about it because I got this YouTube channel, I should be making a lot of money. Then I'm you know what, I'm just gonna post it on LinkedIn. Dude, I posted on LinkedIn, and a couple of days later, I got emails from different companies that I wouldn't have never thought in the world. And that's the power of content. If you're afraid of posting something on social media, don't be afraid. Just post it. If you're looking for a job, don't be afraid. Just post it and say, and tag the person from that company that could get you the job. There are people like you. They've been there. We've been there. So yeah, there are things happening right now that are not good, but making connections is, to me, that's the biggest takeaway of my career. The XR community it's amazing.
Definitely. Thank you for sharing this insight, and I'm sure a lot of the people, this is something that we've been saying for a while and that everyone knows here. But yeah, connect with people and just make the most out of it, and you will be able to get that step forward when it comes to XR and participating in these kind of events, working on the new technology and making it more accessible for everyone through videos, through the education tools that we give and that everyone builds. This is how we bring VR to mainstream, or XR in general. We'll take the next question, actually. And that question is, what are the best ways to break into XR market effectively and showcase your experiences in a portfolio? So let's talk, maybe Dinesh can tell us a bit about how to showcase, or how, basically what you can do to put yourself out there. build your brand and all of that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the good thing is we talked about this a lot already together, basically, which is like the strongest thing, the highest leverage is content in any media form you like to. Of course, anything visually is going to be helpful, but I think that is really the strongest way. And next to that, of course, the consistency is really important, and going to events. So basically, like a summary of all of these things you have talked about already. Or anybody wants to add something?
No, I think we answered.
Yeah. Awesome. And we'll take the last question, and that will be, what technologies or features do you think will bring XR to the next level, or will make the next significant advancement? This is a big question and can be very different things. What do you think personally?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be the pass-through camera again. No, I mean, like, you've seen the convergence of XR and AI, and we've also seen over the last year that both is really, really here to stay, similar to what Dilmer said. I mean, I also feel way more confident now after I've been at Meta, seen what we're building, also seen what the competition is building, and now how AI is rising up. And for me, the fact that XR is just probably the best interface for interacting with AI. You're hands-free, you can use your voice, your eyes. And so, yeah, it's the camera, like you get full context of what's around you. And I always say people, look at the Quest. The Quest 3 is an amazing device. Look at it as your dev kit. Also talk to Yolanda about this. As a dev kit for later glasses. We know it's coming soon. You can very well simulate what's about to happen with the Quest 3 and camera today. Yeah. Do you want to add something?
Thank you. And with that, I want to encourage everyone here and also online to connect with our beautiful panel. Oh, Dinesh wants to add something.
One small thing on the third question, any job openings, offerings, feel free to follow our channels. There might be something coming sometime soon, maybe. No promises, but keep an eye out, absolutely.
And as I was saying, everyone here, both on site and online, a big thing about the community, the XR community, is connection. So make sure the rest of the questions, any questions that you might have, just reach out. I mean, here's an amazing panel that you can reach to any time of the year, anywhere, both on their social media and here in person. So don't be afraid, come up to them, ask them your questions, ask them about their experience, anything that you're wondering about, and I will 100% tell you that they will very happily share their knowledge with you. Thanks again to Quentin Valembois, which is also known as Valem on YouTube, again. To Robbie, to Dinesh, and to Dilmer, all for joining us here tonight or this evening on this panel. Big round of applause for our panel, please. Amazing. Thank you. And with that, our XR Avengers panel is over. Thank you so much, everyone, for attending, and we'll see you later. Cheers!
Thank you, Jad, man. Thanks to Jad and the entire team of Immersive Insiders for setting this up. This live stream setup was amazing. First time us doing something crazy like this. So really, the team is amazing. Jad, thank you so much. All of you guys. Whoa. And yeah, see you all soon.
See you.